two towers. Now the architect calls these towers Marina City. We call them the Corncob Towers. Corncob Towers were designed by Bertrand Goldberg, a student of Mies van der Rohe. Bertrand Goldberg noticed in the 1960s people were working downtown but not living downtown. It wasn't set up for residential living. They'd come downtown, do their job, and go back to the neighborhoods where they had supermarkets and restaurants and everything they needed. This whole concept here is called a city within a city. He wanted you to have whatever you could have in your neighborhood right outside your apartment door. So again, careful of the sun. But if you look up and the Corncob Towers where the corn kernels are, great apartments, great views. Underneath there's a level for workout rooms and laundry, places to park your car. In the plaza there's a little marketplace, there's a dry cleaners, several restaurants, places to park your boat. On the plaza he designed a theater that's currently the House of Blues, and behind that an office building. Originally, now it's a hotel. You can actually live and work right here at Marina City. And if you've ever been in a tall, high-rise apartment that has a lot of amenities, that whole idea started right here with Bertrand Goldberg. On the left is our lovely Riverwalk, very busy on this holiday weekend. The Riverwalk is 8 years old, but it comes from a city plan over 100 years old, the 1909 city plan by architect Daniel Burnham. Daniel Burnham believed the river belonged to the people, and everyone should have free and easy access to enjoy it. He was 100% correct. It just took us 100 years to get it off our to-do list, but glad we did. Coming up on the right is a red brick building. That's the Murdoch Building, which opened in 1914. That's the style of building that was common along the river around the turn of the century before the Wrigley Building broke that mold. Originally a produce warehouse, now it's offices and restaurants. And what I love about the Murdoch Building is that, you know, architects love symmetry. Look at any of these skyscrapers, all very balanced, all very even. The Murdoch Building is not. It is uneven, and I'll show you. When you come up from under the bridge, look up at the clock tower. So I'm seeing, oh, careful of the sun. I'm seeing the clock tower right now. Count the bay windows to the right of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Clock tower, bay windows to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 and 6. That's weird. Also, not what they originally did. They actually built an even 6 and 6 building. What happened was in 1930, the city wanted to widen LaSalle Street here, but in order to do that, they had to cut off the end of the building. But they did such a fantastic job rebuilding the end and matching the original architecture that you would not notice this building's uneven unless some jerk on a microphone pointed it out to you, which is how I learned about it. Take a look to the left. You're going to see a building actually called the Builders Building that opened in the 1920s, and it was added on to 60 years later in the 1980s when they wanted to extend the full length of the block. So we got a little Art Deco on the left going up to Roman columns, and then you can see where the new architects copied this design a little bit, but added these modernized windows in that glass roof, and I think that's common in Chicago architecture, trying to honor the past but also move things forward. Coming up on the right is a really large building. That is the Merchandise Mart. The Merchandise Mart opened in 1930. It was the largest building on the planet for 13 years until the Pentagon got built. Still really darn big. It's 4.8 million square feet. It's got its own CTA train station stop here. There's 4,000 windows on this entire building. Now the Merchandise Mart is classic Art Deco, and here's some elements we look at to determine that. You'll notice that it has inset windows, strong vertical lines that lead your eyes upward, ornamentation, and made out of limestone. The building is so large, it had its own zip code, its own postal zip code till the year 2008. And it's so big they had to figure out how to build it. They'd never built a building this size before. They adapted technology used for building dams, like the Hoover Dam, to build the Merchandise Mart. Straight ahead, we're going into an area called Wolf Point. This is where all three branches of the river converge. It's also the belly button of Chicago. This is where Chicago started to form as a community of buildings in the 1830s. If we were looking at Wolf Point in the 1830s, we'd be looking at a trading post, a tavern, a post office, a tavern, a church, 3 more taverns. It's in our DNA here. Be careful of the sun, but check this out. Wolf Point is now a contextualism bonanza. It's like a trophy case for skyscrapers. Sun's kind of glaring off over there, be careful. Most of these buildings were built in just the last 5 to 7 years. Whole point is really stunning. Now the building right in front of us is called River Point, which opened in 2017. Now some of you in the back won't be able to see this until we head up the North Branch, but you will get a view of it. At the base of it, there's this really big parabolic arch. That's structural. That's actually holding the building in place. And at the top of the building, there's another arch that counters it. That's just for design. They call this building River Point. We call it the Hot Pocket Building. The Hot Pocket Building has a series of portals underneath it because trains run underneath this building. Metro trains and Amtrak trains. When we go down to South Branch later, you're likely going to see and hear trains underneath a few of the buildings. But that's why they need that arch. There's no basement here at River Point. This building is sitting on top of railroad tracks. Now as we go around the bend here, we're going to see the oldest building on our tour. This red brick building is Fulton House, which opened in the 1890s. When that building opened up, it did not have that many windows on it. Barely had any windows at all. It belonged to the meat packing industry. Now, meat was processed on the south side in an area called Back of the Yards. They processed the meat, ship it up the river to that building there to be frozen. The entire building was for freezing meat. They freeze it solid, and that way they could ship it out elsewhere around the world. Then in the 1970s, the meatpacking industry died out in Chicago, and Harry Weese, a Chicago architect, looked at that old meat freezer and was like, hey, I bet people would love to live here. He had to wait 6 months to do anything because the building needed to thaw out. It was frozen solid, 6 months to thaw out. And then if you look at those inset balconies, you can see that. You see this, the walls are 3 feet thick, 3 feet thick. And when they first cut into them to start renovations, they discovered the original insulation of the building. Matted horsehair and cork. Same ingredients as a Hot Pocket. Harry Weese obviously had a great idea. Good thing I wasn't here to tell him otherwise. Easily one of the most popular, successful buildings on the river, if not the city. Fulton House will easily be around another 100 years or so. Harry Weese also designed the very whimsical river cottages next door. He loves sailing, so check this out. A lot of nautical images, actual portal windows, lots of triangles emulating the sails on a sailboat. And he built all the way down to the river level, which nobody was doing in the early 1980s because the river was stinky. They were doing like this building with their backs to the river, treating the river like an alleyway. Harry didn't like that. He was hoping it would turn around. I think he got the ball rolling with the river cottages because our relationship to the river is completely transformed. We're engaging with it more. We're taking better care of it. Architects are honoring it in their designs. Give an idea how things have changed over the years. Coming up on the other side of the bridge on the right is the back of the East Bank Club. Now they have a lovely Riverwalk here with kayaking and a lot of greenery and tons of windows. When that building opened in 1980, absolutely none of that was there. None of it. Just a bare, boring sidewalk, not even that many windows. They've added windows over the years. As things have changed, the East Bank Club's been right in step with it. The East Bank Club is a high-end workout club. Celebrities work out there. Oprah Winfrey worked out there. Barack Obama worked out there. I don't know if they worked out together. I'd like to think they were Zumba buddies. On the left are the Kinzie Town Homes. They built themselves to thoroughly enjoy the river. I'm going to be a good neighbor to them and get off the microphone for a few moments while we turn the boat around. So great opportunity to stretch your legs, visit the restroom, visit Jason and Elise at the bar, check out the view of downtown from the North Branch. Make sure you're hydrated, take care of yourself.